Hey guys, my name's Jamieson Crast, and this week on Smart Tips and Tricks, we're taking the ever-popular Remington 700 platform. We're doing 3 upgrades that you can do at home. We're going to take a good shooting gun, and we're going to make it great. Stay tuned. Alright guys, the Remington 700 platform is probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular platform when it comes to bolt action rifles. This is a factory rifle. This is a Remington 700 ADL chambered in a 6.5 Creedmoor. Good shooting gun. We took this to the range a couple days ago and it shot very well right out of the box. So in this series, we're going to go through 3 upgrades that you can do at home with minimal tools. We're going to go through them to take a good shooting gun and we're going to make it great. So starting from the top 3 main things that we're going to improve on is 1, the barrel. Right now, this is just a factory barrel. We have a carbon barrel. We're going to upgrade it to. Following that, we're going to change the trigger out right now. This trigger is set at about 5 pounds, 4.5, 5 pounds out of the factory. Not the cleanest break. We're going to upgrade that to a TriggerTech. And then after that, we're going to take this same setup, the barreled action, and we're going to put it inside of a new chassis. Those 3 things alone should take the gun that shot very well at the range and should have night and day differences when it comes to accuracy and consistency. So starting at the top, we are going to remove the scope right here. So we're popping the scope off, setting it out of the way, leaving the rings on, that's fine. Now next, we're going to move this rail here. This is a 20 MOA MDT pick rail. We're just going to remove this because again, we're going to have to get in here to the barrel. Rather just get all these things out of the way. We'll put them back on later once everything's dialed in. Now, this baby's stripped down. So, like I said, 6.5, we're checking this. We know it's empty. This ADL does not have a removable magazine. So, flipping him upside down, and you're going to see 2 action screws right here. Okay, one in the front, one in the back. Going back, this is where a good vise is nice. You never have enough hands doing this stuff alone, and a good vise is worth it. So, swapping heads near here, and we are removing these 2 screws. Now you're gonna have a lot of pieces here. Take these babies, send them off to the side, keep them in a spot where you know where they are. Every one of these pieces is gonna be crucial going back together. The front action screw is a short one. Tuck this guy off to the side. Coming to the back here behind the trigger is going to be the longer action screw. We're setting both these off to the side. Now, on the 700, there's going to be 1 more screw that's on the front of the trigger. Because we're putting in this in the chassis, we will not use this screw again, but that does not change the fact we'll tuck him aside, put him in a little sandwich baggie, save him for another day. Okay, removing him. Now, as you saw, this action, barreled action, is ready to fall right out. So I'm going to flip him over. And we can remove our barreled action. This being an ADL. Right here we got the spring to follow for the magazine, tucking him off to the side. And we have our trigger part. So we're setting these off to the side. Now, we have our Remington 700 action factory barrel. This we will remove here with a little screw. And at this point, we have the trigger exposed. If this all you were going to do, and if the only thing that you wanted to do was take care of the trigger and replace the trigger, put this entire gun exactly how it is back in with a new trigger, absolutely fine. That upgrade alone would shoot better. We're going to continue to take it a step further, so we're going to do that next. If you see here, there's a little Phillips head screw right here. We're going to remove this. Find all my parts here. We're going to remove this guy. Just a little screw right here. We will not need this again either. But we're just going to tuck this out of the way. Remove this. All right. So now, Remington 700 action, factory barrel, factory trigger. Now it's time to head to the vise. All right, so we have the Short Actions custom barrel vise. There's a lot of different vices, a lot of different options out there. This is one that I like. I'm not even going to use some paper on this because I will not be saving this. If you were going to be saving this, you'd want to make sure that you put some tape on here to protect it. But we're putting this into the vise. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to be clamping this down so that this barrel cannot move. And then we're going to come in with an action wrench specific to the Remington 700. And we're going to take the barrel off of the action. Now there's certain specs for this Short Action Custom has. I've run this a few times, comfortable with it, know roughly where she needs to be. You're going to want to give her some. All right, now this is an action wrench that we got specific to the Remington 700. You're going to need one of these so we don't mess things up inside. Removing the bolt, tuck him off to the side, and then inserting the Remington 700 into the action. What that's doing is going through here, grabbing hold of the lugs. So now this barrel is being held in place by the vise, and we're going to crank this counterclockwise. Now this is one of those things, some of these have popped off really nicely. Some of these require some heat. You never really know what you're going to get into here. Depends on if and when it's been removed. Can be a pain. Taking a 3/4. Now I know you're not supposed to use, or some people say you're not supposed to use a torque. We're using it here. If you don't like it, drop a comment in the comments below and I'm sure we'll hear about it. All right, so this is where we're going to get on here now and we're going to give her some. All right, now that broke loose, all we're going to do now is unthread this action from the barrel. Remove this from the barrel. So now, Remington 700 action. And also, we have the recoil lug that we're removing. We're going to use this for the next one. All right, so now you have your Remington 700 factory barrel, and we're going to tuck him off to the side because for this video we have upgraded to a 22-inch OMR 6.5 Creedmoor barrel, 1-8 twist. This baby right here alone should make a difference. As I said, you could do one of these upgrades, you could do two of these upgrades, you could do all three of them. Every single one of them is going to help the gun shoot better in one way or the other. There's a lot of carbon barrels. You could put a steel barrel on here. Really, anytime you upgrade to an aftermarket barrel, you're likely going to get better performance. Proof makes a great carbon barrel. Preferred makes a great carbon barrel. I have some Proofs behind me. This is an OMR, and have yet to shoot one, but I've heard good things. So we're going to go back to the vise. We're finding the shims that we're using. And we're going to wrap this right here. Notice we're not clamping down on the carbon. We're wrapping right around here, okay? And we're going to use this. Some people use drywall tape. This came with, some people just use, I've seen some people use toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. Any of that works. We're just protecting this. You get on here, you have a brand new barrel, $1,000 you spend on it, you twist it up, ding it all up, mar it up. Nobody's happy about that. So wrap a little tape around it, and we're putting this in the vise. All right, so we have the new carbon barrel tucked in here. We have the proper shims, putting her in the barrel vise, tightening this down, and now we're going to start seeing our upgrades come to life. Now, one of the important things that you're going to need when you have the Remington 700 with these recoil lugs, okay? This sits here on the action, and this recoil lug is crucial. It has to be put at the right spot. So one of the parts that you're going to need is a recoil lug alignment tool. Where's mine? Right here. Recoil lug alignment tool. All this is a piece of metal right here. Sits on the bottom, screws into one of the action screws. Okay? It has a cutout right here that this lug fits in. Okay, that way everything's perfectly aligned. So you need this little guy. Just putting him in the bottom. All right, now what this will let us do is place the recoil lug back in here. Slides right in. And now all we're doing is taking this and screwing on our new barrel. One of the things I should have mentioned, we're putting a little bit of anti-seize on here. A little anti-seize lube on these threads right here. It's going to make this a little more enjoyable next time you swap this barrel out. Alright, threading this on. Now, with these that aren't pre-fit shoulders, see, so I just cranked this all the way. Now, if I took the barrel nut right here and took this back, and I know this because I've run this before on one of these guns, that right there, no-go gauges are not going to fit. So this is where you have to do a little dance. And this is where two other tools come in. These are called go and no-go gauges. Got these from Pacific Tool and Gauge Company. You get them specific to the caliber that you're using. And basically, this makes sure that these are to the right spec. You got the right headspace when you go in here. The go gauge, when you put that in, you're going to be able to close the action. You put the no gauge in, and you should not be able to close the action. So this is where putting our bolt back in, putting the green one, the go gauge, putting it in the chamber. I cannot close it, so I'm going to back this off. Still can't close it. Still can't close it. Almost can close it. Now right there I can close this, okay? So now this is not perfect, but I'm going to back this barrel nut out now, okay? Get this close, not season anything, ready to go. Just checking. All right, so right here, go gauge goes nicely. Setting him off to the side. That's where you check the no-go. With any luck, oh, look at that. No-go will not go. Okay? Not going to force it. No-go will not go. Green, go gauge, will go. All right, we're going to check these again, but for now, that tells us that we have this in the right spot where we can now take this barrel nut and get this baby cranked down. This is another part where you're going to want to look at the specs. You're going to want to look at the barrel manufacturer and read this. From OMR, they sent a piece of paper that says between 75 and 90 foot-pounds. So go take out a mortgage and get yourself a snap-on wrench. Okay, come over here and get the right fitting. This is a 1 3/16 crow's foot wrench. Again, this is all going to be dependent upon your barrel manufacturer and your barrel nut. In order to do this, in order to be getting the right specs, you're going to want this as a 90-degree angle. Okay? Now, I'm also going to put a little tape on here so that I don't mar up this barrel nut either. Putting a little tape on. Find where you can get this baby in there. Okay. And now this is set to 80 foot-pounds. We're going to start cranking her on. There. Got the click of the torque wrench. So this baby should be ready to go. Now popping her out of the barrel vise. Removing our paper, and now we have a beautiful Remington 700 barreled action with a brand new carbon fiber barrel on it. Now, we're not done. We need to check this. We checked it once, we're going to check it again. We're taking the go gauge, green, closes. We're good there. Red gauge, no go. Will not go. Small victories, people. Those are the small victories right there. Now, we can come up on the bottom and remove our alignment tool. Set him aside. You will not need him again. Alignment tool is one of those little pieces. Can't do this without it, but you don't need it for very long. So now, this right here, this by itself is going to shoot better. Take this barreled action right here, you put this in a stock set for this new contour, and you're going to have a better shooting rifle right here. Now, the next upgrade we're going to go through is a trigger upgrade. Now, I'm a big TriggerTech fan. A lot of good companies out there, Yard, Bix and Andy, Timney. For this video, we're going to do TriggerTech. A lot of these will be applied the exact same. So, one of the things I want to point out is the reason a trigger is a solid upgrade. So I'm going to give you an example here. This factory trigger on this 700 right now, okay, we're looking at about 4.5 pounds. 4 pounds, 0 ounces. Okay, so 4 pounds, that's a heavy trigger. Some people are going to like that. A lot of factory guns are coming around a 4-pound trigger. What that is, that's a lot of squeeze time, a lot of anticipation. When you get on target, you let half your breath out. You're getting your beat right. Everything's good. Getting your breathing point right. You're pulling. A lot of time for you to anticipate the shot, pull targets, pull left, pull right. Personally, I like running sub 2 pounds. 2 pounds is good hunting, really personal preference. I like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. So these TriggerTechs are going to let us do that clean, crisp, concise break every single time, repeatable. That's what we want to improve our accuracy. So now if you look here, grab my pointer. There are 2 pins. There's a pin here and there's a pin here, okay? These 2 pins we're going to remove or mostly remove. That's going to let us pop out this trigger and put in the new TriggerTech. So let's do that first. I have a punch here. All this is 1/16 of an inch punch. And the first one that we're going to do is we're going to pop out the front. So I'm coming on this side. Okay. We're punching out these pins, trying not to lose these. So we got our front pin here from the trigger. Now, see this baby's just kind of freewheeling. Now when we come through on this one, we're going to come from this side. Okay, I'm going to push this back one out. We want to try to leave this little set right here. We want to try to leave him in here. Okay? Not the end of the world if you don't. Okay, now just like that, this trigger spring comes out. We can set him off to the side. Now, another exciting part. The TriggerTech. This is a Remington 700 Special. These are adjustable from 1 to 3.5 pounds. Now, pretty simple, dropping this in. I went with a flat trigger. I just personally like a flat back trigger. These triggers right here, top of the line, 100%, absolutely top of the line. So, dropping him back in. And we are going right back, just like we originally did. Now, if you can see closely here, this little piece right here, okay, this is going to be your bolt release. Okay, on some of these, you're going to push onto the side. On this Remington specifically, you're going to push underneath. This right here, this hanger, All right, it's pushing down on here. So we have to have this line up. We're gonna fit in that little groove right there. Okay, now it's just a matter of getting this pin back in the back. All right, so tap these in, both of these back in. Here's the nice part. So we got this back in. Now, one thing that we're checking is when you push on this, the bolt release, okay, we want to make sure that this is able to come out. Push up on the bolt release, bolt comes out, this returns back. So with that, we have a TriggerTech special installed. Now, one of the features of this, actually let me show you this first. Just want to show you the difference between this trigger and what we had on there for a factory trigger. Going back to here, okay, safety off. 1 pound, 7.3 ounces. Check this again. 1 pound, 9 ounces. So this right here, probably a hair lighter for most people to hunt with. 1 pound, 7.8 ounces. Very consistent, very light. Again, what that's gonna do, now there's a point where it's too light, but what this is gonna let you do, especially in a controlled shooting range, you know, bench kind of scenario, is this is gonna let you be in here, and when you start breathing, you get that right there where you want, and you start pulling, boom, that surprises you, goes off, away we go, hitting. Less time for anticipation, less time for jerking, less time for pulling off target. So, right there, relatively simple. Removing a couple pins, replacing them, putting in a new trigger. One thing with this right here, I'll show you quickly, is while we're in here, comes a little Allen key, and then right here, this little Allen head, this screw head, is if you turn clockwise, we're increasing poundage. Okay, nice sharp clicks. Boom, removing it. I'm actually going to increase it probably 2 clicks, maybe 3. See if I can get her back up around that 2 pound mark for when we take it to the range here. 1 pound, 12 ounces. So that's it right there. Put in a new trigger. So there's a lot of different stocks, a lot of different chassis options. One of the things that I like about a chassis is you have adjustability, okay? We want the MDT ESS chassis, a lot of good companies, KRG, XLR, a lot of good chassis across the board, KX Defense. We want the MDT, great company, great product, good customer service. One of the things I like about the chassis is the adjustability and being able to make this gun mine. Form fitting right here, so you've got a cheek piece that we can adjust. We adjust the length of pull here. You can adjust what kind of a grip you put on here. We can go vertical, you can go with an angled like this, some are fat, you can put different colors on here, lots of different textures. Hell, you can go wood if you want. So a lot of different options to make this gun fit exactly the way you want. This right here is a gun, not going to be super lightweight, probably not taken in the mountains. You want to go shoot coyotes, you want to drive around the truck, you want to go you know, shoot deer, this will be a hell of a gun for it. So with that being said, let's go through how to drop it into a chassis. So starting from the top, we're going to remove our barreled action with the trigger. We know our action is empty and safety's on. Okay, setting him off to the side. And we're going to get this ready to set up. So the nice thing about chassis, the nice thing about stocks is if you get them, you need to get them specific for the action, okay? That's first and foremost. Second of all, you need to have it for the contour of the barrel that you are. Nice thing about chassis, these all fit these Sendero types. So right here, recoil lug. Remember we used the tool earlier in the video to show you this is aligned. This is dropping in right here. This entire system drops in. These companies have made this about as painless and as seamless as possible. Now, holding this in place, you already get an idea of how she's looking. We're going to be flipping it over and coming up from underneath. Dropping our front action screw in and just getting these babies in place so they're starting to hold. Right there, feel it catch. All right. Now we're taking our longer one, coming through here, and just getting these babies started so they'll hold. All right. Now we're switching over to our 3/16 head. And we're going to adjust both of these action screws, okay? Now looking at these, this front action screw, we're going to be taking to 65 foot-pounds, okay? So we're adjusting 65 foot-pounds. Okay, and these are, again, in the specs. Read it. These are important numbers. Okay, and then the back action screw, we're taking to 45 to 55. I'll set her at 50. All right, so there we have it. We have both of these right here, both action screws dropped in. Now, depending on the chassis that you get, you might be done. Now on this one, it actually comes with a barrel hood, so we're gonna slide this baby on, and this screws in from underneath, so we're gonna have to flip it again. But what we're gonna do is make sure that we are not scratching our beautiful new carbon barrel here. Sliding this on into place. See where the holes line up. We have 3 screws here. And we're getting close. This whole thing is starting to come together. All starting to come together. Now the exciting part is going to get this baby to the range. And the cool part, exciting part for you guys, is check the comments below, because one of you guys can enter to win this gun right here. We're giving away this exact setup, completely upgraded, new carbon barrel, new chassis, new TriggerTech trigger. One of you guys is going to win this gun right here. So check out the contest description below. Get yourself entered to win it. All right. And right there, we have a completely upgraded Remington 700. What a thing of beauty. What an absolute thing of beauty. We have the beautifully smooth Remington 700 action. We have the upgraded crisp trigger, set at about 2 pounds of a TriggerTech, and we have a new OMR carbon fiber barrel. So now that we're all set, guys, all that's left to do is put the pick rail back on, mount your scope, bore sight it, and take it to the range. For those of you that have not seen the video, I went through all of that in another video for USA on smart tips and tricks. Go ahead and check that out if you got any questions on it. But now all it's time to do is take this baby to the range, and let's go see if our upgrades paid off. Well, there you go. 3 upgrades, all combined right here at Remington 700. And a gun that was shooting well is now shooting great. All right, guys, paper doesn't lie. As you saw, the groups improved. We started with good groups, and we are now shooting great groups. Every one of these upgrades all played a small role in making this a great shooting platform. And one of you guys gets to win it. Check the description below. Get yourself entered to win. If you guys have questions, comments, you have a different stock that you like, a different chassis that you like, different triggers, different barrels, I want to hear about it. Hell, maybe you got a whole new action that you like better than Remington 700. I like a Tikka action. Anyways, maybe we'll do that next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Tune in next week to Smart Tips and Tricks. Thank y'all.